you are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault.
Today, we're diving into the disturbing case of Ally Bardfield, a 34-year-old woman whose actions sent shockwaves through her community and left many stunned at the double life she was allegedly leading. What started as a routine digital investigation quickly turned serious when authorities discovered Bardfield had been exchanging messages with a minor through Snapchat, a platform notorious for its disappearing messages. Initially, the conversations appeared casual, but investigators soon found that Bardfield had crossed several lines, sending the student inappropriate texts, explicit images, and even transferring money through Cash App, totaling hundreds of dollars. This wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment. It was a sustained pattern of grooming behavior hidden behind a social media screen. When officers finally approached Bardfield, their body cam footage revealed the moment reality hit. At first, she appeared confused and even calm as police explained the nature of the charges. But as it sank in that this wasn't just a misunderstanding and that her actions had triggered a criminal investigation, her entire demeanor shifted. Authorities say Bardfield's use of digital platforms and financial apps was deliberate, part of an effort to cultivate control and trust with someone she should have never had that kind of relationship with. Community members expressed shock, noting that Bardfield didn't fit the typical profile of someone who'd commit such offenses. But as this case makes clear, appearances can be deceiving. The investigation is ongoing, and officials are urging parents to closely monitor their children's online activity and remind them that not everyone they interact with on social platforms has good intentions. As more details unfold, Bardfield is facing serious charges that could lead to a lengthy prison sentence, and this case is quickly becoming a cautionary tale about trust, technology, and the predators who hide in plain sight.
I'm assisting the Mount Police Department. How many kids are home? Three kids. Okay, just you guys and the kids. Okay.
And someone else.
Yeah, it's my brother. My brother.
Okay. So here's the thing. We have a search warrant for the house. Okay. You are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault to grooming. Okay, so that's why we're here, to take a look, to make sure we gather what we need out of the house, okay?
For what?
Yeah, so I'll talk to you more about it here in a second, okay? I'm going to explain some things to you, okay? First off, I have to read your rights, okay, so that I can talk to you, okay? You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford one will be appointed to represent you free of any cost to you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been in trouble before?
Never.
Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain, but long story short is, okay, we've got a significant amount of evidence to include the conversation that you had with.
According to court documents, when detectives arrived at Ally Bardfield's home, she immediately tried to downplay everything, insisting that she had never been involved with the boy in question. But investigators had already done their homework, and they weren't buying her story. In the body cam footage from the arrest, although portions of the audio are redacted, one line from a detective cuts through clearly. We have a considerable amount of evidence. That alone revealed how airtight their case was. And he wasn't just talking about inappropriate texts or suspicious Cash App transfers. He was also referencing a recent phone call between Bardfield and the boy, which had been recorded just hours before her arrest. According to investigators, not only had Bardfield been communicating with the boy via text, but she'd also engaged in voice calls and FaceTime conversations. What she said during those calls was damning. She allegedly told the boy that she couldn't get pregnant, discussing birth control in a context no adult should ever have with a minor, and instructed him to delete their messages to avoid getting caught. That revelation gave prosecutors what they needed to prove intent. On March 29, 2024, Bardfield invited the boy to her home, reportedly calling it a play date, a term that would later feel especially unsettling considering the circumstances. After that visit, the boy's behavior reportedly shifted. He became distant and withdrawn, enough for his mother to notice something was wrong. Trusting her gut, she began going through his phone and social media accounts, where she uncovered what Bardfield had been hiding: messages, photos, and communications that no parent ever wants to find. When she confronted her son, the boy finally opened up, confirming what the messages had already suggested, that something deeply inappropriate had been going on. That moment of truth is what officially triggered the full-scale investigation. From there, everything unraveled. With digital receipts, surveillance of phone calls, and the emotional testimony of the boy himself, Bardfield's carefully hidden secret couldn't stay buried. She now faces serious criminal charges, and her case is shining a harsh spotlight on how predators can operate in plain sight, masked by apps like Snapchat and cloaked in false trust.
Committed the offense of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child. It's a Class X felony, punishable by 6 to 60 years in the Department of Corrections. That would be served at 85%, followed by a mandatory supervised release of 3 years up to natural life and up to a $25,000 fine. It is not a probation eligible offense. And if convicted, you would have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your natural life. Do you understand the charges I've read it to you? Do you want me to read the whole paragraph out loud to you, or are you able to do that? Okay?
After her initial denial at the front door, Bardfield eventually agreed to sit down with a detective, a conversation captured on body cam though much of the audio was redacted. According to court documents, she once again claimed she never had a relationship with the boy, but the detective pressed further, confronting her with evidence of inappropriate photos she had already sent to him. When asked directly why a 34-year-old woman would send such images to an 11-year-old, Bardfield's response was chilling. She said the child kept asking and would not leave her alone. Documents also revealed the disturbing detail that the victim had sent explicit pictures as well, highlighting how far the communication had spiraled before investigators intervened. Once in custody, the investigation intensified as officers reviewed extensive digital evidence, which ultimately led Bardfield to admit her wrongdoing. She confessed to having an inappropriate relationship with the boy, an admission that shocked even experienced investigators. Her confession left little room for doubt, and prosecutors began preparing for trial, though Bardfield made a different choice. When she entered the courtroom, she faced multiple serious charges connected to misconduct with a minor. Instead of prolonging the case and forcing the victim to testify publicly, she chose to plead guilty. This decision not only ensured accountability for her actions, but also spared the young victim from reliving the trauma in court. By pleading guilty, Bardfield accepted the consequences of her conduct, and the justice process moved forward with clarity and finality. The case highlighted both the disturbing depths of her behavior and the significant role of digital evidence in bringing such crimes to light. In many ways, this moment became the true turning point of the case against Ollie Bardfield. A trial would have meant revisiting every disturbing detail in front of a jury, laying out explicit evidence and forcing witnesses, including the young victim, to testify. Instead, by entering a guilty plea, Bardfield removed much of that burden, pushing the case directly toward sentencing. Many believe the punishment awaiting her will be severe, with a lengthy prison term expected. Such a sentence would ensure that she is removed from society for years, minimizing the risk of further harm. Beyond imprisonment, state law requires her to register as an offender, a permanent label that will follow her long after she leaves prison walls. The outcome ensures she won't simply serve time, but will carry the stigma and legal weight of her conviction forever. The Bardfield case is deeply disturbing, not just because of the crime itself, but because it highlights the complex, modern challenges law enforcement faces in the digital age. Despite her attempts to hide behind vanishing messages and secret transfers, investigators pieced together enough evidence to uncover the truth. Bardfield's arrest, her chilling admission, and her guilty plea show that even in a world where technology is often exploited to conceal crimes, justice can still follow the trail. For the young boy involved, the hope now rests on healing, time away from the media spotlight, and the assurance that Bardfield is no longer a threat. For the public, the case serves as a stark reminder that predators don't always fit stereotypes. Sometimes they're the people you'd least expect. What are your thoughts? Should Bardfield spend the rest of her life in prison? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown insightful, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next episode of Bars and Justice.